Hello everyone and welcome back to Scottish Football Weekly, brought to you by Wireless. On my right hand side here, on the left hand side of your screen, I'm joined by Ben Whitley. How's it going, Ben?
Not bad, mate, yourself?
Enjoying the new set?
I'm on, mate, I'm on. It's getting back to business. Business is open as usual, so
We've still got a few wee bits and pieces to get finalised. The boys tried to put the curtains up over the weekend, and I don't even know if you'll be able to see them in this. Hopefully not, because Gizmo had an absolute mare.
Nah, Gizmo is a saviour.
Depends how you look at saviour. Craig, how's your weekend?
It's as good as I can be. Still in the boot.
Still in the boot, but
Still in the boot. Yeah. Watched 9 games of football this weekend.
9?
9.
Bet you didn't watch the Hearts and Patrick Thistle game, but because they didn't put highlights anywhere.
No.
They didn't put
no highlights anywhere. Same with Airdrieonians County, by the way. Great game of football. I heard 7 goals. Also 4 goals in the Hearts game.
Kept up to date with it on Twitter.
Aye, we Alex Lowry, but we'll get on it.
So before we get into the actual breakdown of the episode, you'll remember last time on Scottish Football Weekly here at Wireless, we spoke about a new segment we were introducing where you could send in stories. So do you want the first story?
Let's see it. What have they said?
Right, so somebody got in touch via Instagram, so we'll pop a link on the screen for that, so you can get in touch and we'll tell your story on here if it's worthy, right? So I won't tell you who it is on camera, but you can guess off camera, right?
Or we can just go into the instant see.
Or you can go into the instant see. I used to play for an academy in Scotland. We used to get day release from school to do theory and training a couple of times a week. One day after training, one of the boys went into his bag to get clothes out and found a rotten and mouldy banana with a £10 note. So he told us that whoever ate the banana in full, they could get a £10 note. One of the boys, who currently plays in the top flight of Scottish football, ate a full rotten banana, inside and out, skin included, according to this, and spewed, so he didn't get the tenner because he was sick. And at the end of the message, he just put lol.
I mean, I'm.
Any idea who it is?
I think I've got one, but
Who's your guess?
top flight of Scottish football,
Top flight of Scottish football.
and this person done it.
This person done it.
I don't want to say the person, then it's
Yeah.
like Fraser Murray.
No, it wasn't him. We'll need to blur his name out when you've said it, but it isn't him anyway.
Yeah.
It isn't him anyway. You get any points?
Who in the top flight of Scottish football would be eating a rotten banana with skin? I'm thinking Jason Holt.
Why Jason Holt?
Don't know, he seems like a weird wee guy, doesn't he?
So again, we'll need to blur them, but let us know down below who you think would eat a raw banana in Scottish football.
You
on
want
the
to
top
tell
flight.
us?
I'll tell you off camera. I can't tell you on here.
Blur it.
Oh, aye, right, okay, it's but I can't tell you on here, obviously.
So I was half right.
Aye, I suppose.
I mean, we'll need to blur that or not.
So give us anything. We'll keep it anonymous and we'll be reading out the favourites here on the podcast. Last week the comments roasted Connor because he didn't know who the St Johnstone manager was. So this week I'm going to be putting you two to the test.
Superb.
So I've got some questions, but I need to whack a pair of headphones on one of you first.
Barry Snellers of the week. Geez it, I'll go first.
Barry Sandler of the week. Cool. Let me grab the headphones.
Surely as a winner I can go first if I want.
Shut it, man, but
I'm watching you. I'm the champion to beat.
can you play some good music?
So as you can see, guys, at home, Ben is currently vibing out to some Rhys Williams, DJ and Magaluf, a good friend of mine. So be sure to check out his latest song, King of My City. I'm going to ask Craig some questions. Ben can't hear them. Then I'm going to ask Ben the same questions and see who performs better. So you've got 30 seconds.
Okay.
I'm going to start the timer.
Is he going to beat the champion?
I'm pretty confident for you this week, if I'm being honest. Some of the questions are actually tricky. Play along at home. Let us know how you do. So, time starts now. Which Premiership club are nicknamed the Staggies?
Ross County.
Who are the only undefeated Scottish club in all competitions?
Kilmarnock.
Who did Rangers face in the UEFA Champions League playoffs this week?
PSV.
Who scored the goal in Kilmarnock's 1-0 win over Celtic?
Marley Watkins.
Hearts beat which side to progress to the next stage of the Viaplay Cup?
Patrick Thistle.
Who made their Rangers debut after a summer switch from Chelsea at the weekend?
Stirling.
Who is the current Hibs captain?
Paul Hanlon.
St Mirren play at which stadium?
What? Pass.
At which stadium would you find Janefield Street?
What's that? Sorry.
At which stadium would you find Janefield Street?
Patrick Thistle.
Incorrect. Who is Hibs' most capped player of all time?
Lewis Stevenson.
Incorrect.
Oh, that's hard. That's hard.
Why is it still going? I think I gave you more time than you were supposed to get there.
That's hard. That was really hard though.
Oh, I gave you a minute and 30 seconds. Oof.
That was a minute and 30 seconds.
You never get the whole, you get like a minute and 59.
What? No way.
Cool. So, Ben, take your headphones off. So, I'm not going to tell you how Craig performed, right? But he done well, so you're going to need to do well here.
Oh, shit.
So, starting the timer now.
Can I get the headphones, please? Oh, I don't need them.
You don't need the headphones.
Oh,
This
wanted
is
to
going
hear
to be
some
brutal.
lovely music.
Right, I'm going to give you 45 seconds. I gave him a few extra seconds.
Mate, I
right?
seen a minute and 30 and it stopped at 34 seconds.
Right.
Did a maths.
I'll give you a minute. You're getting a minute.
Cheating here, by the way.
Right, 1 minute starts now. Which Premiership club are nicknamed the Staggies?
Ross, get it.
Who are the only undefeated Scottish club in all competitions?
Hearts.
Who did Rangers face in the UEFA Champions League playoffs this week?
PSV.
Who scored the goal in Kilmarnock's 1-0 win over Celtic?
Oh, we just literally spoke about him.
You know?
I do.
You can
Pass.
pass. Hearts beat which side to progress to the next stage of the Viaplay Cup?
Hearts bet. Patrick Thistle.
Who made the Rangers debut after a summer switch from Chelsea at the weekend?
Jamie Welsh.
Who's the Hibs captain?
David Marshall.
St Mirren play at which stadium?
Jeez, peeps.
10 seconds to go.
Just pass.
Paisley Renfrew Stadium.
At which stadium would you find Janefield Street?
Who?
Janefield Street.
Janefield. St Mirren.
I don't know if you get any right.
No.
Wait, what?
You get one or two.
Wait, so.
So,
Go for it.
which Premiership club are nicknamed the Staggies? It is Ross County, so that's one each. Who are the only undefeated Scottish club in all competitions? It's Kilmarnock.
Kelly?
They never lost any games in the Viaplay Cup group stages, haven't lost any in the cup games, and they've drawn 1 and 1-2 and drawn 1 and 1-1 in the league. So undefeated in all competitions. Rangers face PSV, you both got that. Marley Watkins scored the only goal, you never got that one. So it's currently 3-2-1 to Craig. 3-1 to Craig. Hearts beat which side to progress to the next stage of the Viaplay Cup?
4-2. Patrick Thistle.
Patrick Thistle. Who made the Rangers debut after a summer switch from Chelsea?
Sterling.
Not Jamie Welsh, it was Sterling.
He was pish, so he got taken off.
Aye, he wasn't a good man.
Who's the Hibs captain?
I thought it was David Marshall.
Paul Hanlon.
Paul Hanlon.
Pish.
St Mirren
6-2.
play at which stadium?
Pish.
Right, I thought this was like New Love Park or something.
St Mirren Park.
Oh, that's pish,
I
man.
knew I would do these for that one.
Sorry.
At which stadium would you find Janefield Street? Celtic Park.
I wouldn't know that.
You've been to Celtic Park, see in the back of the ticket, it says Janefield Street on it.
That's nice because I call it Celtic Parkers.
That is sick.
Wait. How would I know?
Because you've been to Celtic Park.
But I've never.
You would have had a ticket that says Janefield Street on
Do
it.
you look at your ticket and go, I've got to Janefield Street?
Aye, exactly.
No, but you know where the stands are.
Aye, I know the Lisbon line, Jock's Dean. I don't go, oh, that's next to the Janefield stand.
There's no Janefield stand.
Janefield Street.
You're a freak. Who is Hibs' most capped player of all time?
You never even gave me that.
You never made it in
Did you not
time.
read it?
Two
I said,
four.
who is it?
Gordon Smith.
I'd have said Gordon
Lewis
Smith.
Stevenson's not a bad shout.
I would
Luke
have said
Stevenson's
Gordon
like
Smith.
sixth. You would have said Gordon Smith?
No,
I'll
mate.
give you Craig still won 7-3.
6-2, it is.
6-3.
Or 6-3. If we give him that point because he would have got it.
Alright, 6-3. Right, anybody else want to take me on my list here?
I'd
Yeah.
take you on base
This
some
is
proper
embarrassing.
warning.
This is supposed to be the best of the best. and
Did you
can't-
actually, did you do this last week?
Aye.
I've been on a strict mobile ban, by the way, for the last
2 weeks ago. You know,
2 weeks ago. I gave you this
apologies.
last week.
Apologies. There was a lot of sickies in my list, wasn't there?
Nah, there's just
No, there was a lot of sickies.
actually there was actually
Sickies and some
suckies.
mechanical issues. Mechanical issues, we could say.
Aye.
We'll leave it there.
That's it. Aye.
We'll leave it there.
Last week was a write off.
I actually went to. That's quite good for you. I actually had someone say that the reason that happened is because I was starving. decent patter.
That's
was
good
good.
patter, man.
Anyway,
Anywho,
Let's go.
I've been putting it off for about 5-10 minutes. Kilmarnock 1, Celtic 0. Why don't you take it away? Because I feel like you look at the smile. On you go. Take it away.
imagine getting beat at Rugby Park. No, look. It was bad, wasn't it? Like it wasn't like Celtic deserved it for the game, which
No.
is very surprising. Kilmarnock right now are the best team in Scotland.
I mean, statistically, aye.
I mean, they've played arguably the 3 best teams in the country and should have probably won every game, and they've beat both Rangers and Celtic. The way Derek McInnes has got their team set up is very, very good.
Aye.
And
I've got to be honest, I'm incredibly impressed with how good they are. Not just from not just, oh, he's a good player. See the structure of the team.
mhm.
Daniel Armstrong played the exact same way in the Rangers game as he did in the Celtic game. Unbelievable, man. Left-footed player playing at right wing back. He's an attacker. He just does it so well, mate.
He does the hard work.
And Daba, other side, does the exact same. Absolutely quality. The 3 centre halves, quality, mate.
Oh,
Your midfielders just fight like fuck for everything. And then you've got strikers that can press and create a wee bit of something as well. So
and they've got so much squad depth as well. Like we'll move obviously on it as we go, but you've got the likes of Vassell coming on, who came on and absolutely bullied that defence for 25 minutes and just put his cell about. Like there's a core group of 14, 15 players in that Kelly team who are just working for everything. And if they can keep going like this, there is no doubt in my mind that they'll easily finish top 6 and start pushing up to your Hibs, your Aberdeen, your Hearts, etc.
That's half the battle, like you says, we're having a good people that can come on like your Vassell's off the bench, and I think that can transform into the younger generation in terms of okay, maybe you're starting on the bench, but when you come on, you're in the squad for a reason. The manager's putting his trust in you to go in. The guy's a veteran, let's say. He's no young. He knows how to play football. And like you said, he bullied 2 young boys at the back, maybe 4 young boys at the back. The bit where he took it in the corner and he just like la croquetted at Roonham. I was thinking it's no our day.
ridiculous, wasn't
Not our day at all.
No.
But one word, pish. That's
I think,
simple.
see, if you look at where Celtic are right now, a lot of the pundits and what else would you call them, like journalists, have spoke in great depth over the past 2 months about Brendan Rodgers pays attention to the finer details. He's very, very good. He's tactically astute. I'm not seeing any of that this time round. I don't think he's entirely convinced by the players that he's been given.
Yep.
His press conference at the last Celtic press conference was strange, right? Because you could see what he was trying to do. The first words out his mouth were, "I will develop the players that I'm given by the club." Straight away, there's alarm bells ringing. So he then pulled it back a minute later and he says, "Of course I play a part in bringing the players in. Of course I do. But the recruitment team's already here and there's a line of players that are coming next." So at what point does he actually have a say? Because see if they've got 3 left backs, 4 centre halves written down, 2 right backs, when does Brendan Rodgers go, right, nah, I don't like him.
Aye.
Nah, he's not good enough. He doesn't fit the way I want to play. At what point does he undo all that work that this recruitment team have been brought in to do? So I'm not too sure where. It just feels like there's something no lining up. That's how it feels to me.
And the thing that I would be quite worried about, I'm more worried about on my side with Rangers as well, is we're now not even 2 weeks away from the end of the transfer window. So then you look at it as if you were in this position, I don't know, 4 weeks ago, it would be okay because you think there's still 5-6 weeks to go. There does seem like there is a bit of dead wood in the Celtic squad, which is a bit weird to say because 3 months ago, not one of these players were dead wood, but it's a total change in tactics between Rodgers and Ange. Now, it's very early for Rodgers, and as I said a couple of weeks ago when Kilmarnock beat Rangers, I wouldn't worry about it. It seems a bit worse because it is a cup. If this was a league game, you'd probably look at it exactly the same. But I think not just the result, the actual level of performance for Celtic was alarming because
They looked out of ideas in the
It's
first
been
half.
It's been off for a couple of weeks.
we look at the first game at Ross County. Now, it was a 4-2 game. It finished 4-2, but I don't think it was a 4-2 game. Like, I think Ross County, for especially the first half, as we discussed, were in it. And that's not because Celtic were off it, it's because, well, Celtic were off it the first 15-20 minutes, but Ross County managed and were allowed to play their way. And the same happened with Kelly this weekend. The only difference is Celtic had nothing to match Kelly's quality, and it was second best at absolutely everything.
The biggest telltale sign, for me, is you look at the players that are playing this season that were debatably up for Player of the Year last year or the year before. Anthony Ralston 2 years ago was hailed as a rejuvenation and almost a regeneration under Ange Postecoglou, because he was given that freedom of coming inside and he's not having to hug the touchline, and his weaknesses are highlighted.
Traditional fullback.
I think that's one of his weaknesses, where he doesn't have that freedom to go, because if he's restricted to being stuck on the outside of the pitch, but he doesn't look comfortable anytime he gets it. If we're playing out, goes into McGregor, goes back the way, or comes to Ralston hits it straight up the line, and 9 times out of 10 you win a throw in from it, but that's not the style we're used to seeing. He comes inside, takes it, pops it back to McGregor, then moves wide, because that gives that space for McGregor, and then Hatate will drop in, or Moy would drop in.
Yeah.
Greg Taylor on the other side is a shadow of who he was last season, and I hate to say it, man, because I'm a massive Greg Taylor fan, but he hasn't hit the heights of last season quite yet. I still do think that Greg Taylor will come good for Celtic at some point. However, I think he's under a bit of pressure for that position at the moment.
Don't take it and let any credit off Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock stuck to a game plan. Just like they stuck to the last two, they've done well. I feel I was lucky enough to actually be playing on Sunday and miss 80 minutes of the game.
Aye.
But for what I've seen, we're not putting away a dinner. Like, O'Reilly slots at, even he slots it, he should be wanting the keeper there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one where he's through and goal, and Kyogo as well. I thought Kyogo done well for what I watched in terms of trying to get on and do stuff.
That's the thing that frustrates me, but see, you're 5 minutes to go for full time. Why is your main threat in front of goal 25 yards deep? I don't understand that.
Got to collect like the ball into the midfield. I don't get it. It's no Kyogo's game. See, if you want a striker like that, be ruthless. I know Kyogo's went and scored 34 goals last season. If Rodgers has a way of playing and he wants a striker to drop deep in actual link play, go and get a striker for that then, because Kyogo isn't that striker. He's no bad at it. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's actually good at it, but he's no affecting the players around him. Because
I would actually argue that I would disagree with that, because opening day he set up O'Reilly against Aberdeen away. He set up O'Reilly for up in Aberdeen as well, didn't he?
Yeah, but
positive.
Yeah.
Last week on Saturday, the Sunday there, he set up O'Reilly on the half turn. He's very good at that reverse pass, coming towards the ball, coming towards like where the number 10 should be. But that's not where you want to see your striker. Why are we relying on our centre mids for scoring goals now?
He's too good.
I agree.
That is my argument.
Like, he's too good not to be a finish in the ball.
That for me is the problem with the system. Then that's not a system with Kyogo as a player. That's no. For me, it's not a matter of bringing in another striker. Kyogo is the best player in the country, hands down, in my opinion. He can pass better than anyone else. He's got better vision than anyone else. He can score the most goals. 1v1s he's good as well. He can drop in and take it. He can go in behind. For me, he's the best player in the league, hands down. But he's not being utilised in the correct way, and this is what Rodgers done the first time as well under with Lee Griffiths. Lee Griffiths was banging in goals the season before that. He scored 52, something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
He was going for Larsson's record. The next season, Rodgers spoke about it when he first came to Celtic. He said he was on 52, and the second player that season, I'm sure, was Callum McGregor actually for goals, and he had only scored like
13 maybe?
13, something like that. And he says we have to close that gap. I want everybody contributing. And that's fine if you've got players like Armstrong that can score for distance and you're trying to break teams down. McGregor can shoot for distance. We also had Rogic in there. I don't think we've got the central midfielders to play the way they want us to play.
Do you know the worrying fact is, right, in watching Celtic in terms of where they played, the only thing that I can physically see changed on that pitch is the inverted fullbacks. And that's the worrying fact.
Like that's what's killing the moves.
Like something so simple as creating space and letting Hatate or Cal or O'Reilly come and collect the ball. No. Just stay up, push wide.
Where do we go from here then?
I think, touching on what you said, that the big change is that the fullbacks aren't inverting, but what I've seen as well is the wingers aren't staying touchline wide as they were through Ange as well. And the benefit of them staying touchline wide is the likes of O'Reilly, Moy were making the runs into the box and helping the likes of Kyogo. Look at the amount of goals your midfielders have got under Ange. Like, it was always double digits for one or two of them. Now, O'Reilly has had a good start to the season. I'd probably say he's been your best player the start of this season. Up there probably with Kyogo, because Kyogo's done nothing wrong.
But see, for me, this is that same thing that you saw. We'd see when Manchester United first started to fall away. The best player they had was Adnan Januzaj. Januzaj was never Man United quality, but see, because the rest of the team was underperforming, he looked at the best player. I think that's what we're seeing with Matt O'Reilly at the moment. I think everybody else around him is off it, which is making Matt O'Reilly look like he's the best player. And I'm not disputing the fact he's performing the best. I think O'Reilly's a great asset to Celtic, but there's a reason that he played half the games last season, because Aaron Moy is technically better on the ball, Hatate's technically better on the ball, and he never scored a lot of goals. Okay, he's scoring this season, but if you want goals in the midfield, you play David Turnbull. If you want to control the midfield and rob the ball back all the time, you play McGregor and Hatate. I think that's the midfield three you should go with, because I think that replicates last season the closest, but I don't think he wants to replicate last season. He wants to put his own stamp on things, and I rate O'Reilly, but I don't rate him as highly as I rate Turnbull or Hatate.
I think Rodgers quite a stubborn manager in terms of he knows the success. Like, I could be way off of this, right? But just as an outside looking in, he knows the success that Ange brought to Celtic the last 2 seasons. Now, Rodgers had his own success, and people argued that it was even better, right? But Rodgers seems like that stubborn a guy. He'll be like, no, let's try and rip this right out. Like, forget all these players, forget that all the success and all the triumph and everything that Celtic's had under this manager. No, I'll play my way, and if it doesn't work within the first 3-4 months, then we'll just stick with it. We'll stick with it. And it seems very stubborn, because there's a guy on the bench who we might get onto, in Yang, who honestly looks very good.
He was the one shining light from the day, in my opinion. I thought he was very proactive when he came on. No, everything came off. He fell about a few times. He was trying too hard at points, but it was the most positive that anyone had been in the whole game, and he was on for 20 minutes or whatever it was. But from your point of view as a Celtic fan, where does Celtic need to strengthen? Like Craig says, there's less than 2 weeks left of the window now. I reckon we need 3 or 4, but where do you see?
I definitely think we need a couple of players, but I just think we need to bond. I don't think it's a case of most of the players were there last season, that's fine. But again, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Not to say that I disagree with your point completely about like try to strip everything back and changing for a team. It's the same coaching staff. It's the same background staff. It's just one manager. Now, one manager, Ange done wonders, treble and everything. I don't believe it was all fully Ange in terms of how they want to play. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but I feel that if Rodgers can get 1 or 2 or 3 maybe signings to try and bolster up the squad, because I feel it's not looking good, bruv, for the third. It's not looking good.
I'll be brutally honest. From my point of view, I'm looking at it thinking, so there's 2 ways to view it, right? There's the commercial aspect, which is how Celtic functions as a business, and then there's the point of view of a supporter. So
Celtic are ran like a business, good, but
I don't disagree with that. But from a commercial point of view, we will now have Joe Hart for the duration of the season, because you can't have Joe Hart sitting on the bench, because that takes away one of the coefficient places, or one of the, what do you call it, the criteria places.
Yeah, the
homegrown criteria for Scott Bain. So that means that either Scott Bain has to play, you need to sign a Scottish goalkeeper, or you need to sell Hart and get someone else in. None of those 3 things are going to happen. So Joe Hart is now the goalkeeper from a commercial point of view. But as a Celtic fan, I would want to see us bring in Livakovic, because I think Livakovic is great with both feet. If you've watched the World Cup documentary, Captains, he's phenomenal in that, because he gets left at the team because they think that he's too scared to make mistakes. Then he comes into training, he works like fuck, and he gets put back in the team, and he carries them through the rest of the group stage, the qualifications. I also think you need a left-footed centre-half. I've been saying that for 2 seasons. You need a left-footed centre-half. Starfelt was excellent for Celtic, and you're seeing that now, because where people were criticising him, we weren't losing games.
No.
We've just lost. So the chances of Celtic's treble's done by September. I also think you could do with bringing Kieran Tierney back, if it can happen, because if you want a full-back who's going to play on the outside, that's Kieran Tierney's game. That's no Greg Taylor's game. I love Greg Taylor, great servant for Celtic, but Kieran Tierney is the only one of my suggestions that works both commercially and as a fan, because he's bringing in homegrown talent, addition to strengthening the squad. In terms of midfielders, I still think you could probably do another one. I don't feel like we've replaced Aaron Moy.
Do you see the talk of Eric Dyer, Scott McTominay?
I don't
take
think
Scott McTominay in a second. I would take Scott McTominay in a second.
Aye, 100%. Scott McTominay's the far superior out of the two, but I don't think Eric Dyer's that bad a shout to play as a 6. I would not like it because the wages would be astronomical, right? But it wouldn't be a bad sign, I don't think. But Scott McTominay again, that's the. I think it's more of a dream signing though.
I don't disagree, and I'd also be looking to bring Ryan Fraser in.
I don't know.
I don't mind that.
Ryan Fraser's Premier League
James
quality.
Forrest.
He's Premier League quality, scores goals.
Don't
Can
get
play a
me
number of
wrong. He's
positions.
not played since October.
That doesn't bother me.
Which-
That's not a thing for me.
Don't know. I think you could probably get better in that position.
Mikey Johnston.
Where is Mikey Johnson? Is he injured?
He's injured. He's injured now. He got injured playing for Ireland, I'm sure.
He
I'm sure
did
it was
that,
that.
right.
Because surely he's going to gain minutes because
He'll be looking at that Celtic front line thinking, I've got a right chance.
Maiden are bad. I haven't look great.
We also need to replace Giacomakis. We've never done that. O is not a Giacomakis.
Is O
replacement.
injured?
No.
Is O came on?
No.
O did pick up a slight knock that was out for 2 weeks or something, 2-3 weeks.
He was on the bench. You're looking to.
Was he playing somebody who's got a knock in him? Oh,
So you've got like that's what I don't get. You're never going to take Kyogo off, right? But you've got O on the bench who's not getting minutes.
We were level with Dundee United last year at Celtic Park, 3 each, with like a minute to go. In fact, no, we were 3-2 down with 3 minutes to go. Bring Giacomakis on. You've got Kyogo playing as like a 10, almost like a second striker, and Giacomakis. Balls up to Giacomakis, lay it into Kyogo, play down the sides. We got 2 goals in 2 minutes because it was just rampant all out attack. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to go for 2 strikers. See a wee bit. See the predictable 4-3-3. See if it's not working. Why no? Try a 3-5-2, 4-4-2.
4-4-2,
I find it very, very frustrating.
But credit again. We'll go back to Kilmarnock. Credit to them. It was the goal I wanted to point out was almost like watching a team against Angie's Celtic, where Celtic switched off.
Mm-hmm.
Celtic switched off. Now there was a wee bit of controversy because Taylor was he injured or was he off the park at that time?
I honestly wasn't paying attention. I was just.
I think Taylor was off the park at that time, and it came from the left back position. No,
Maida stands up. Armstrong finds the yard, batters it across, and Gustav sleeping at the back. I think it's Snorowski sleeping at the back post.
And it was just a split second or two switching off. As I said, as many teams have done against Celtic over the past 2 years, and it resulted to a goal. And don't get me wrong, the minute Kilmarnock scores and there was 25-30 minutes left, every single person expects the Celtic to go score, no matter how you play.
I said that in the last 2
even
minutes.
Even when it goes up to 85 minutes, I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, I'm thinking, yous are still going to score here.
They might only get 1, they might not score 2.
Exactly. No matter how
Take
bad
it
Celtic
extra
plays.
time, I think we'll win.
Because
I don't disagree.
that's how Celtic have been for our lives.
Well, I'll ask one more question before we move on. Haksabanovic, penalty or no penalty?
Stonewall.
It's no penalty.
No penalty?
No, right.
He's going down,
No.
right? Hold on, let me speak
Right,
this,
okay.
right? The fact that it did, and actual fact,
The referee
Cam,
should have been given
Cam.
a chance to review it.
the definitely should.
The ref
Definitely should have had a chance to view it, right?
100%.
And that's why the standard of refereeing in Scotland need to go up.
Yeah.
Because
Matt,
yes,
honest
he's
take
going
on
a
it.
bit. Yes, he is going down already. But as he looked, VAR looked at that and says, "Well, he already tried to go down in the previous one, so and that was a foul.
Matt,
So
honest,
why did he get this?"
That's my honest assessment of it. I think it's a penalty, but see, because he's dived 2 minutes before it, they've looked at it and went, no chance.
So
Fucking no chance.
I agree. I don't know why it didn't go to Ivan.
Wait,
the reason
it would have been a penalty.
Yeah, right. I think it would have been given as a penalty, right? The reason I don't think it is, one, he's going down, right? But I don't think that factors in for it not to be a penalty. But he drags his foot and then it hits off Mayo.
No, see, if you watch it, his foot's planted at the very last, and Mail comes across.
He's
him.
still got
No,
control
'cause
of the ball.
Mayo plants his foot first, and then Haksabanovic's trailing leg hits off him.
It's his front foot.
I don't know.
Rewatch it on Twitter.
As
I don't. We won't
and
be allowed to
it's
put it
not
on,
as if
but
it's not as if the ball's went out of play. When he goes down and he's falling, the ball's still at his left foot.
I don't know.
mate, it's a stonewall penalty.
The
You can't make
minute it
contact.
happened, I thought that's a penalty. But it was the camera from the Celtic fans. I thought no for me.
No,
But look, see if it's Rangers, I'm
you're
screaming
calling for it.
And it is going to be a penalty, obviously. It
But
will go to VAR.
you should never.
I don't know why it didn't go to VAR though. I totally agree with you on that.
You should never. It should never come down to that with Celtic, in my opinion. We should be railing teams, absolutely railing them. All right, and it's just not happening yet.
Moving on to a slightly more positive note before we go into the Rangers game. Howler of the week, McInnes again.
Oh,
Oh.
Hearts obviously done very, very well in Europe. A last minute goal against Rosenborg from Cammy Devlin took them through to the playoffs. We'll insert the clip here.
Get in there! Nicky Devlin!
So as you can see by the
come
clip,
on, the Nicky Devlin, Devlin.
Nicky Devlin is playing for Hearts now in the middle of the park, scoring in the last minute Europa League games,
Brilliant.
which is quite phenomenal.
Aye.
Would you take a howler of the week for the second week in a row, McIntyre?
Yeah, it just should be McInnes' howler of the week.
We should just call it McInnes' howler of the
It's
week.
every single week. Well, it'll be on camera, off camera, in the chat, wherever, man. Like, the minute you put it in, like, I was watching the game, so I was the only person to see it for the first 5-10 minutes, and I've just put Cammy. it's Cammy.
It's Cammy, mate.
But he didn't even realise. But that's a howler. It's a howler.
It's a daffy.
For Stephen McLean, no Nicky Devlin. Don't know what he's making. He's making a draft 11 of howlers.
Rangers Morton, what'd you make of the game? I thought it was a tough watch, man.
I said to you, if I didn't support Rangers, I would have turned that game off. We are the most boring team in the world. No. Watching that game, it was just nothing was coming off. Nothing was happening because it. Oh, just take it away because I don't know what to say anymore.
So my perception of the game watching it was Morton, as you would suspect, sat in, happy enough to let Rangers keep the ball and put balls into the box. They've ended the box pretty well, with the exception of one or two scares. I thought Matondo had the boy Blues
Skates, man.
on toast, man. That boy was having kittens trying to deal with Matondo.
The first couple of minutes where Matondo took that touch.
That was a beautiful touch.
Beautiful touch, and I thought, all right, this is going to be quite positive. Ravi's got his start, redemption arc.
Movat's having wet dreams again.
Movat's having wet dreams, exactly.
And another thing in that exact same move that there's one player at Rangers who constantly he splits my opinion every single time I watch him.
You guys at Lundstrom?
He does one or two things and I'm like, wow, man, how's he done that? How's he seen that? And then other times I'm like, how the fuck's he done that? Like, it's wild. Like, I actually rate John Lundstrom as a player. I think John Lundstrom is technically very good and in attack, like, can be very good. But some days I'm just like, you just don't feel like it. Just don't feel like it.
No,
What do you think?
Pish.
no.
Do you know what I mean?
Look, John Lundstrom. No, I had this argument with my dad, right? So my dad loves John Lundstrom.
His range of passing is very
Right,
good.
I don't know. He's but look what he done in Europa League 18 months ago, right? And the only reason why he was so good for 4 months, right? He's been here for 2 years. 4 months is because he played in a system that was revolved around protecting him. Just as the same as you see when Harry Maguire plays for England in that back five. It looks alright because he's playing a back five. John Lundstrom was playing as a right centre half in Europe. Now, don't get me wrong, his performances were excellent, right? And no Rangers fan can discredit him. Him and Bassett were the two best players on that European run. European run to what though? We didn't win anything. Alright, final, brilliant. We all celebrated getting to the final, then we all started greeting. Right,
I remember that night. And there was some tears.
It was horrible, but look, John Lundstrom is not good enough. The level of performance against Morton, no discredit to Morton, by the way, it's no good enough, and I could say that about 8-9 players on the park.
I'll be perfectly honest, mate. Until it was one each, Morton were the better team, in my opinion.
See, as soon
100%.
I think
As soon as we went to.
What do you make of these penalties as well? By the way, both of them.
Right, I'm
going
to say it first, right? We were obviously putting these curtains up, and producer Connor went, "It's 1-0 Morton." I was like, good joke. And he went, "No, it's 1-0." And I says, "It's going to be about 3 or 4-1, and it'll come in the space of 10 minutes." There you go, 10 minutes. Standard of refereeing, shite. Penalties, no. Usual. You're always guaranteed a fucking penalty at Rangers. Sorry for the swearing. But we're uncensored now.
We're uncensored now.
We're uncensored.
Right, so
uncensored.
for me, both of them are the penalties, right?
Damn they.
No,
I agree.
by the rules, they're penalties.
There's no contact in the first one.
No.
No, there's no contact at all.
I actually think there is.
No.
Very slight contact.
No chance. Kirk Broadfoot.
So roles
is
reversed
at
here,
it,
innit?
mate. Kirk Broadfoot's at it.
No, it's not.
No
It's not a
way.
penalty. It's not a penalty. The Balogun one again.
He's
isn't
pulled
there-
his shot. You can't do it.
Right,
I
you
think
can't-
there's a tug. But see, if you're giving that, mate, you're giving 8 penalties
Right.
a game.
Aye.
Right,
That's
we have
eight
this
a game.
We have this argument all the time, right? I get it. By the rules, it is a penalty. By supporters and by people who play and watch football all the time, it's not a penalty. But by the rules, that's a penalty. And I know you're saying, right? I know you're saying. No, but listen, I know you're.
Take a shot for how many times you have by the rules.
No.
You'd be pissed.
I know you're saying that it happens 8-9 times a game. 8-9? 8-9 times a game. And there should be 8-9 times. I can't speak. 8-9 penalties. Right, well, give 9 penalties in.
No.
Why no?
Then
Defenders.
it'll be 25 minutes added on time.
But if you're committing a foul, should it not be a penalty? So if you're doing that 9 times a game, should that not be 9 penalties?
I don't know, man.
I mean-
It's
I agree with you. But if you're committing 9 fouls in a box, that's 9 penalties. So defenders should just stop doing that.
Do you know what I
Do
actually
you
want
need
to
to
do?
grab somebody's shut? Playing football, do you need to grab
you
somebody's
don't,
shut?
but it goes both ways. Attackers stand up. Defenders, you know yourself of being a centre half. If a striker's trying to get across you,
First of July.
they'll hold you. So they can dictate the movement. They're trying to dictate the feint right, and then they're off, and you're trying to match it. So 9 times out of 10, you've got to hold of each other. I think
If you've got
for
hold
me,
of each other, then
it's just not a foul,
it's
man.
null and void. But if a defender is grabbing, like if I see my centre half,
But by the rules.
but by the rules. But if I see a defender pulling, aye, may as well take another shot. We're here for that long one. If you see a defender pulling the shot, your first instinct is, why are you doing that?
Do you know what I would want to
You
do?
don't need to do that.
And I really want to make this happen. SFA. I'm looking at you now. I want you to put me in a VAR van. Alright? I
Oh my
want
God.
you to put me in a VAR van, and I want you to make decisions and see how the game would change. But we can't make sure there's any mockers in the
I tell you what, by the way, we'll need to cut this out because I don't know if people are supposed to know. But do you know where the
Yes, I know.
Aye,
I know.
we know.
Yeah, no, don't even
You don't need to say,
You don't even need to say.
I know what it is.
Aye, you don't even need to
literally,
say.
like, round the corner for me.
Aye.
Aye. You don't even need to say.
You know,
But
Jamie
back on,
stays in the West End in a £10 million mansion, by the way.
it's beautiful.
only Wednesdays, Sundays, and Saturdays.
Only days that don't end in a Y.
Back
Eh,
in the game.
I feel like we need to talk about the Rangers' new signings. If we just go through them in terms of how they've presented themselves so far.
One word.
Who are you liking the look of and who you're not liking the look of?
The best one so far is Jack Butland.
I agree with that 100%.
In terms of, again, me and my dad were going right at it, by the way.
You and your dad going at it.
Pause.
No, about the football. No, so I was saying that Butland is clear a mile
Oh, 100%.
being our best sign.
I'll
make
right?
that.
Right.
What?
Only because of the upgrade from last year's position.
Aye.
Because you compare to McGregor to Butland, it is night and day. Butland does look like the best keeper in the league right now.
He's
I agree.
running
Aye,
out for
he is.
balls that
He
McGregor
is.
wouldn't.
And it's not even that. There was a couple of crosses, not just in this game, against Kelly, against Livingston also,
Aye.
where they get zipped right across the box and he's diving and catching them.
He had-
McGregor would just look at it.
He had one shaky moment in the Morton game where he decided very, very early he was coming for a long throw and he misjudged it pretty bad, but he got away with it.
That was at the very end.
I felt he had a very good game. I felt he's had very good games in general since signing for Rangers. What's your take on John Sterling?
He didn't look good. But his first game, the system, you can tell that any right back isn't going to look good playing for Rangers. Tav doesn't, but Tav gets away because he scores goals, right? And he's our main creative source. Dujon Sterling isn't a creative right back. Dujon Sterling is a right back turned centre half. Fantastic defensively, but you're not going to see that against Morton. The Morton winger isn't going to go 1-on-1 v Sterling 10-15 times a game, so you can see his defensive capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
So Sterling is then asked, no, go forward. He's not going to be good at that. See, playing against a Hibs away, Aberdeen, Hearts, and then you say
Shellick.
the Shellick even, right? Play right back and then defend. That's when you see the best of him. So I'm not too worried about that.
That's putting the fear in me thinking about. Oh,
But we're going to get scudded for now.
I genuinely think, see the game on the 3rd, I think Rangers will wipe the floor with Celtic.
I'm not watching.
No, I think
I'll
this
be
is.
in Mexico watching it. Do
I
you know
think.
what time I need to get up at in the morning to watch
I'm
it?
going to say 4.
No, I'm going to say 5:30.
I need to get up at 5 to watch it. There's 6 hours of difference, right? But see, the place I'm staying's got a 24/7 sports bar.
Sports bar.
So I got up, go down my wee
It's
Celtic
not
top
quite
on.
Wonder Bar.
I know.
Here, can I tell you a story that I found out
for
for
it.
one of my cousins tonight?
Uh-huh.
They were in Mexico, right? Use the safe.
Oh,
Aye, of
I've heard
course.
that, I've heard.
Because they forgot to put money away, right? iPads, watches, everything. What? Oh, I'll just leave that wee iPad. Leave that straight for the cash.
I mean,
Straight for the Miller.
that's so stupid of you.
The Thomas.
The Tam. But
No, I think the game in the 3rd is set out to be one of the most boring.
Aye.
nah, Celtic are winning it 5-1, mate. Watch this space. Hatate 5 goals for the bench.
Tati's injured.
Exactly. But I'll carry on. I feel that Lammers is
We're not even on that.
under.
We're
So
working our way
much
through. We're working our way
Pish,
through.
man.
Centre mids.
Let me
Centre
get
mids.
excited.
Jose Cifuentes. I love saying that name,
I
by the
thought
way. I think
like-
that's the coolest name in
I
football.
thought
Say
he
again?
looked quiet.
Jose
against,
Cifuentes.
Jose Cifuentes. I thought he looked quiet against Morton, but he does look good.
He's gonna be
He does
my,
look good.
my booking merchant if I ever bet
No.
again.
See, a midfield three of him, Cantwell and Raskin, I'm absolutely fine by.
Mhm.
Like, Cifuentes, as I said, he looked quiet against Morton. It wasn't like amazing.
Well, I'll
but
tell you how the first goal's going to come in the Old Firm.
Cifuentes is gonna rob somebody in the midfield.
Aye, and it's going to be high up. The ball's going to get played into probably David Turnbull in that game. Cifuentes is going to take the ball from him. Cifuentes is going to set Danilo through, and Danilo's going to put it into the bottom right corner.
Pish.
That's what I feel.
Nico
I feel
Raskin, man of the
watching-
match.
I feel.
I'm telling you.
I don't know.
Nico Raskin right now is
He's a
just an
good.
absolute
He's a
joke of a
good
player.
player, man. But I don't see what all the hype's
Oh
about.
no, Nico Raskin is a joke of a player.
No.
Nah, see, in all
He-
seriousness, like I think Celtic and Rangers are both very poor tonight.
Oh man, we're terrible.
Right.
Let's
Next
go
player.
back to next player.
Cifuentes, who else is a new signing this season in centre mid?
Seema.
It's Kieran Dowell.
Kieran
Dowell.
Dowell.
I think Kieran Dowell's alright.
He's a good player coming on.
He's a very good rotational player.
Kieran Dowell
No
isn't.
starter.
Kieran Dowell is fantastic to play 25-30 games a season.
He's your new Ryan Jack, isn't he?
Eh,
Just does the basics well and he'll chip in with a few goals.
he's a proper number 8. He loves a tackle. He loves the physical side of the game and rotating against these away sides up at county and that.
He loves a
Brilliant.
tackle, a bit like myself. Insert me versus Ben Wardrop.
please
Thank
go
you.
And they're down the wing with Ben. Oh, great
what a
tackle from
challenge by
Jamie.
Jamie.
But no, I think Kieran Dowell for a free, getting that body in is it can't be a bad sign enough.
Tell me about that body.
This body.
Tell me about it.
We'd be here all night.
No, there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to cover. You need 4 people in Super Sunday to cover this.
Actually, right, that for you.
Who else?
Please,
Sam Hammers. No, I'm going to agree with you here. You
I think
get-
Barry Ferguson said it, wasn't
don't listen to Barry Ferguson. How many times do I need to say in this podcast?
Barry.
For a Rangers legend, but we'll carry
Even-
on.
I think he's came under so much criticism because of the. Like I said, a striker can
He's not
maybe.
a striker.
I know, but I'm saying
Oh,
a
sorry.
striker can maybe like Danilo or Dessers go 1 or 2 games without a goal, but when they get a goal in the 3rd game, oh, it's alright,
Mhm.
1 and 3. But see, when you're somebody that's getting played on the wing, I'm swear he played him up front against Morton, did
No,
he?
he played on the right.
He
So
played
he's
on.
playing on the right, basically.
Who
as
who
an
was up
inverted.
front? Seema?
It's not even the right.
Oh,
It's like a
Dessers.
false
Dessers.
9 in it. It's like a false
bit- aye.
9, and he drifts right, and then he'll drift over.
And that's
It's-
why playing Lamas on the right again. Fucking Michael Beale. Honestly, tactically is stupid. Playing him on the right and having him cut into the left. Where's your width for the right? Who are you asking for that to be?
Where's Sterling?
John Sterling.
Overlap him?
And is
Where's
Dujon
Tavernier
Sterling?
overlap?
Have we found out that Dujon Sterling's an attacking right back from today? No, we haven't. He's the defensive.
We're going to do something really quickly, actually, and we might even be able to make a short 10-minute video of this just for separate content. I want you to go through just now and pick a combined Celtic and Rangers 11 based on the players that are going to be available to play on the 3rd of
From this
September.
season.
From this
Right,
season.
Butland, Tavernier, Goldson, Suter, Barisic.
I mean, I don't think you're.
I
honestly,
honestly don't think I'm wrong.
I don't think you're wrong. I'm
Carter
leaving-
Vickers.
I'm not. I'm not. I don't. Is Carter Vickers available?
I'm sure Carter Vickers is free. I'm sure
Take
he's
Carter
available.
Vickers out for probably Goldson
Suter.
because Shooter's been better than Goldson.
Suter's pish.
No, he's not.
You're on Monday night.
I just like the word piss.
I would
the
go Butland. Do we all agree on Jack Butland?
Oh, of course, best player in the country.
Aye.
James Tavernier.
Best player in the country.
Right centre back, I would say Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Aye.
Aye,
Left
honestly,
centre back, Suter.
Sutter's been better than Goldson this season.
Left back, Barris is just having a better season than Greg Taylor so far.
Aye.
Centre mid, McGregor's doing fine. I think Cantwell started the season very well.
Raskin maybe?
For me, it'd be Raskin, Cantwell, McGregor.
Oh, Turnbull scored like 4 goals.
Oh, Raskin's the best Rangers midfielder.
I disagree. I think Todd Cantwell is excellent.
No.
Here's one for you. I know we're all going after a tangent. Cantwell will not fit the system well. And I've said that for the...
I know, because he's trying to play him at right.
Not even that. The games that I've watched him, like he's doing what Hatate's done. See, when Barisic goes up, he drifts into that left, and he's no confident in that position.
Okay, cool. So if we go Cantwell, right? So we all agree Cantwell's in the team.
No.
In the 2-3. No.
For me, it's Raskin instead of Cantwell.
Right, so Raskin and McGregor nailed on. Who are you saying for your third midfielder?
And then it's between Turnbull and Cantwell. Who's had a better season?
Turnbull's produced more numbers.
Turnbull's had better numbers. Cantwell's had better.
I like fair play. You're a football player. You're earning money. I'm fat as fuck, and I'm not playing football. I just hate the wee prick. Campbell, I don't know.
Listen, you're going to get players in all teams that you don't like, but that's fucking hard.
Nah, well, I don't hate him. It's just
the boys now don't on social media. Did you see that?
Wait, what?
What, Cantwell is?
Aye.
Really?
Why?
All the abuse.
Seriously?
I'm
To
not
me?
even joking. I
I don't even have social media.
Fucking apologise.
I'm sorry.
Todd Cantwell, if you're watching this, Ben's sorry, mate.
No, I'm not even.
No,
Great.
please come
Listen,
and
he is a
apologise,
great
so.
player. I'm only genuinely taking the piss to make some content.
Yeah, I tell you something. Do you know what's the worst part of this combined 11? The front three. What a tackles. Except for Kyogo. Kyogo's nailed on. Right? Who else has been good on both sides?
Abada scored 1 goal.
Abada's not been good. Maida's a shadow himself.
Aye, Maida doesn't look
Yang
too
looks
much.
good, but can you really put him in a combined
Nah.
11? Danilo, no. Dessers looks fat. Sima,
Jesus Christ, man. You can't slaughter players like this. They've got
Aye.
wings
You're
and
allowed to fat shame yourself, but you can't fat shame.
There you go. No, overweight. I'll say he does look overweight.
Oh,
But
he
I
looks
think
a
he's-
heavier boy. He just looks. He just looks.
He's
Like
Morelos reborn.
oh, I don't know about that.
He's a similar type of player to me.
He's similar to Morelos.
Mate, I
His
genuinely
touch
think,
and strike was unreal.
I would genuinely go so far as to say put Cantwell in that front three.
I can't believe left then.
Cantwell left, then
Oh.
off the right.
Who are we putting in the mid then?
Cantwell wasn't in the midfield.
You want to put a diamond?
Aye, we'll play a diamond.
Diamond, Beale's dolls.
Aye, we'll go diamond. I don't like the diamond in real life, but for the purpose of this, because the
Put
attackers
Cantwell
have
at the top of the diamond though, because if you
Aye.
put him at the right, he is covering Tav. You
Right,
know
okay.
it is. And then who's your two up front? Kyogo and
but it needs to be Dessers, mate. But I don't want to put Dessers.
Nah,
yeah.
Danilo.
Danilo looks better than Dessers.
But Danilo hasn't done anything.
He scored last
He
season.
scored against Greenock Morton.
So
Have you scored
so
against
did
Greenock
Dessers.
Morton?
I've scored more goals at Celtic Park than. In fact, no, I haven't scored more goals at Celtic Park. In fact, I've scored more
What
goals
has
at Celtic
Dessers
Park
done?
than Alfredo Morelos.
What has
No, you mean
Dessers done?
Ibrox?
No, at Celtic Park and Ibrox. No more than Morelos at Ibrox.
He's went to Celtic Parkers.
I played at Celtic Park when I was a wee guy.
I know, I remember.
Back in the academy
I
days.
was actually on the pitch at the same time.
No.
You were playing passes with John Hartson. Aidan McGeady.
No, Paul Hartley
Paul Hartley.
and John. Paul Hartley and somebody else.
Don't remember the boy's name.
Centre back.
Fair enough.
Fair.
So I think you need to go Dessers.
Nah,
Danilo
Danilo.
never played.
You've
the
been
first game.
overruled.
Danilo didn't play
Yeah.
the first game. Talk to the Hanks to face it.
But in terms of mere signings, I actually thought Dessers was okay against Morton. I thought he put his cell a bit alright, but it wasn't a great game. Danilo came on and changed the game.
I think
Mhm.
see because of how bad we're both playing in it, mate. Some of the
Bless you.
exceptions that we're making are horrendous. Like he played okay against Morton, so I'll put him at like what are we doing?
I know.
He's got
What
to,
Rangers and Celtic?
got to a European final.
Can we move actually on to the better fit boy of the week that
Aye.
we
Is
can't
that
even
fit
get
boy?
highlights of?
Motherwell 0, St Mirren 1.
I mean that's even worse. There was one goal in the 9th minute.
Aye, that was such a boring game. Have you watched it?
No, but do you know it's at St Mirren Park?
It's not. It's at Motherwell. Nah, I'm kidding you on it.
Barista!
Nah, it was. I actually thought St Mirren were okay in the game, compact.
Yeah.
They're
Took
going to
their
be though, aren't
chances.
they? Like
It's a Stephen Robinson team, innit?
Aye.
he's still the second best coach.
Some finish.
Aye,
Did-
behind Derek McInnes.
You didn't hear that shout? So 2 weeks ago, the last podcast, I said Stephen Robinson was the second best coach in Scotland.
Who you put first?
Rodgers, obviously.
Who are you putting?
Do you think I was going to say Beale?
Who's the top 3 for you?
For me, like, are you talking about career-wise or like
Aye.
just what I think? Like,
Well,
are you
who's the top
basing
3
off
coaches?
Leicester,
No,
like
no.
Celtic?
Who's the top
before?
3 coaches?
Aye.
Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers. We'll go.
Official
I
LeBron.
thought, like-
Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers.
Nah,
And Brendan Rodgers.
I'd give you. I don't think Martindale's up to much
Neil
anymore.
Lennon isn't the Celtic manager anymore, mate.
Fuck off.
You got to get Del Boy it.
Go away. I'm not doing it. Piss me.
My Mike, my rules. I'm going home.
I'll just not focus right there. What
Please
is
do.
James have a fucking fit?
That camera will stay on this full time.
Hibs 2, Raith Rovers 1.
My boy, my one to watch, Dylan Vente, scoring again.
Aye.
Good player.
Ewan as well. That team's. I think that
Ewan,
team.
who?
Ellie Ewan. Ellie Ewan.
Ellie Ewan.
Is it, am I right in saying that?
Aye.
What are you looking at me like that for?
You said Ewan?
Outside.
I like having a wee bit of bite on this one.
But I feel Hibs are so hot and cold. Watch them go get scudded.
What do you mean they're hot and cold, mate? They've lost every game and then they beat Raith Rovers, who are in League 1.
No, they've done well
Championship?
in the European
They get,
qualifiers when they need to.
beat, they get beat and then they won one game.
No, they didn't.
No,
They get beat the first leg
No.
and then they won 6-1 at home.
aye, and then against Leuven, they won 3-1 and then won 2-1.
Draw 2-2.
Two each. But
No, Hibs haven't been up to much this season. I'll take
I'm
that.
telling you, Lee Johnson is
Top
gone.
3?
No, Lee Johnson's won't be here for long. And
That's harsh.
I mentioned on season 1 SFW, I think it might have been after the Aberdeen loss to Rangers. Rangers we beat 2-0, or it might have just been a scud enough Celtic. I said that don't be surprised if Beale wasn't here by the end of the season. No, I don't expect us to get through PSV. No Rangers fan does, right? I'll be happy in Europa League.
Oh no,
I actually walked past a bunch of them in town today.
somebody says PSV are not the. I don't know if it was Big Cal saying it. He's like, PSV are not the team they are. We should go out and we should scud
No,
them. And
no, we shouldn't. We are worse.
Jamie, please take your hand off that curtain. I've been
Oh, I
and
know.
experienced it.
We are worse than last season, and they're better than last season. And the person that put them out, but our best player who put them out now plays for them.
I hope he
wee
scores.
Malik, return of the Malik.
So Andy's now in the squad. And another thing we didn't mention, the Champions League squad for Rangers got announced today. Yanis Hadji, not in the squad.
Injured? No.
No, came on against Morton
I feel sorry for Hadji.
and changed the game. I'm no Hadji's biggest fan. I've always said this. I don't really rate him, but my God, that boy had something to prove. He then went in the press conference after it and says, "Why do I need to prove it to myself? Like to anybody? Like they know the type of player I am." And then he drops him. He's definitely gone. And I feel very, very sorry for him. But no, let's bring Ben Davies back in.
Solid.
I
Solid
actually,
in what way?
I actually rate Ben Davies.
Oh no.
Because he could go to a back five earlier if he's get a win.
Everybody knows me that absolutely.
I'd rather Lundstrom or Davies. Davies or Lundstrom in that back five.
Aye, but
Possibly.
we don't play a back five anymore.
Aye, but let's say you're
We
going
play
there.
a full
Let's say you're
diamond
going there.
two.
Let's say you're going there with a 2-goal lead. You're not going to attack them.
Do you a 2-goal lead? Sorry, James, cut that. Actually, don't.
Aye, no, we'll definitely be cutting that. Hearts 4, Patrick Thistle 0. There is no
Oh,
fucking highlights anywhere. And when you do a Scottish football podcast, people go, "Oh, you watch
Hold on.
Oh,
I've
they
got-
put them all on at the fucking same time, so I was meant to watch them all at one fucking time."
Hold on, guys.
Aye.
Hold on with that.
Yeah, but we do know one thing.
Shout out to the Town Enders for that 7-minute 16 video. I watched 30 seconds of it and I didn't see the highlights, but listen, keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Aye, great YouTube channel. But Alex Lowry, 3 assists.
3 assists, aye. Alex Lowry's. That's a very good signing for Hearts.
He's not. Do you know what annoys me about like these type of players, like your Karamoka Dembele's, your Alex Lowry's, your Ben Summers, like your Rocco Vatas? They will not make it at these teams, and I don't care what you say, they will not make it, and that's just purely because they get loaned out. Go
Alex
develop them.
No, Alex Lowry needs a loan. No, Alex Lowry's very promising, and if he can perform at this, at Hearts, then brilliant. Alex Lowry was becoming somewhat overrated with Rangers fans, where no matter we didn't have any creativity before Campbell. Stick Lowry in. Lowry went in and he was okay. You're seeing it now with Yefeko. Now, Yefeko is a 19-year-old boy,
His tackle, by the way,
right? In the
was
first
phenomenal.
30 seconds, brilliant.
No, the one like when the ball was through 1-on-1.
100%. But he doesn't need to make that tackle if he doesn't switch off. He switches off, the guy runs off him. Brilliant tackle, but doesn't need to make it. You're now seeing it with Yefeko is, Yefeko's brilliant, the new Bassi. If John Lundstrom or Ben Davies made the performance that Yefeko did against Morton, they would be getting hounded. Now, he's young, give him time, but he also needs to go out and learn. Lowry isn't good enough to play for Rangers week in, week out, and you don't want to hamp his development of playing him 15-20 games a season. So having this loan out to arguably the third best team in the league is so good, and it's paying off now that 3 assists.
For me, just to touch further on what you're saying, I completely agree, by the way. I think it's so important for Celtic and Rangers youth players to go and get loan experience, whether it be Scotland, England or abroad, because what inevitably happens, man, is they're playing against boys that are playing part-time, and that's no slight on boys that are playing part-time, but it's non-competitive football, because Celtic and Rangers players are obviously on extra wages or full-time or whatever the criteria is. I'm not sure what the specific criteria is, but they're going and playing against part-time players for nothing really. It doesn't matter if they win the game 8-0 or lose 8-0. They're not getting anything or losing anything out of it. They're not playing competitive football, and then what's expected of them is to step into a competitive environment at Celtic or Rangers that's the most competitive clubs in this league anyway for spots. So that straight away doesn't add up, and then what happens is you're asked to go and, if Celtic played in Real Madrid last year in the Champions League, they go and play against boys that are going to go on and win Champions Leagues or La Liga titles and stuff.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them will never get to play in the first team. A lot of them will never play a first team game, but they're expected to compete with. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, they're being dicks behind the camera, mate.
No, but
But I'm going to touch on one thing. It needs to be the right fit. Hearts are going to see most of the ball. Lowry's going to get on it as much. That's great.
There's no point Lowry go to Livingston. Like, if you go to a lesser league, like if Lowry was to go into the Championship and play with Patrick Thistle now, right? Because
Queen's Park,
an attacking team, that's fine. It has, as you said, it has to be the right fit. So if you need to move country, Mason Mount done it when he went to Vitesse, and it was to develop his technical ability. Now, we watched the game on Saturday. Didn't look like he had any technical ability.
I still think he's one of the best midfielders in that league.
No, you don't.
Really?
Mate, see,
No,
when
you don't.
and I'll
Surely
go back
you
to this game. Chelsea Man U, the 1-1 game Ronaldo scored at Old Trafford. I was there,
The
fourth row for
movement.
the front. Mate, his movement off and on the ball
Was
is
this when Tuchel was in
unbelievable.
charge?
What?
Was this when Tuchel was in charge?
The
It would have
Champions
been-
League final.
No, the one each against Man U.
Aye,
Tuchel was
Chelsea
in
went up
sorry.
first.
Aye.
That's
aye.
because Tuchel was in charge and it was the right system for him.
I know, but I'm just saying his movement off the ball, his cleverness, he's just not been utilised. That Man United team are pish.
No.
I disagree with that.
They are.
I
However,
disagree.
'Cause the system doesn't work.
Anyway, this is a Scottish football podcast, Ben.
but if you want to see an English football podcast,
Head over to the boys at Flatshire.
Aye, give them a shout out. Airdrie 3, Ross County 4. Again,
no highlights.
put highlights up, BBC Scotland or
Viaplay.
STV, Viaplay. Just put highlights up somewhere.
Just the goals, not even highlights. Like,
Some of us were busy dealing with insurance companies over the weekend.
Why
I
you
didn't
looking
have
at
time
me?
to watch all
Aye,
the
why-
games. I'm
aye.
just stressed out, mate. Because you brought it up, I just feel like I need to talk about it.
but look,
Camera therapy.
we can't see any of the game, right? Which is annoying. Like, I know we're joking about it and that, but we're trying to do a Scottish football podcast. But what we know, 3-1 up, Ross County looked comfortable. Bang, 3
My boy.
Callum Gallagher brought it back. 3 each, went into extra time. Simon scored.
Callum Gallagher's not my boy, by the way. I don't have a child, but Simon, big
Oh.
Shy.
Oh, mind. Oh, the
Aye.
Simon Murray. hint.
Aye.
That's a story for another time. I forgot all about that until you said that. That's mad. Livingston 2, Ayr United 0.
Be honest, man.
Have you seen Joe Ripley's goal?
Great goal.
Oh
man.
my goodness.
The
mate.
movement?
Open foot, bang round the defender.
I think he'll leave. There was a lot of
He needs
people.
to.
There was a lot of people in on Livy Twitter. I'll see if I can't see the game. I'll
You just
go
go
on
to
Twitter
Twitter.
and see what the fans are saying. And there was a lot of fans saying, "Please don't go." Like,
I normally skip it.
there was a League One team down in England bidding. And I'm thinking, League One? I know he's playing for a bottom 6 side in Scotland. He looks a better player than a League One. Like, he could definitely play a decent, maybe lower championship level of football, definitely.
You think?
But I think so.
Think he scores enough goals for that?
I don't think you're buying for the goals. I think you're buying for a lot more than goals.
Like Lyndon Dykes?
Exactly like Lyndon Dykes, actually. like came from Livy, went to a bottom half of the Championship side, and then develops his goals. So
Quite possibly. Stirling versus Aberdeen.
yeah,
Clarkson, Butler.
All you've got to say on 90 minutes of football, just Clarkson baller.
Aye.
Miovski's goal was good.
Miovski's was good. He'll be. I think he'll battle for top goal scorer this year.
Think so?
Yeah.
No one
He's a
Kyogo's still in the
finisher.
league.
What?
To be fair, if Brendan Rodgers wants to play Kyogo as a number 6, then quite possibly Miovski will finish top goal scorer.
That's your midfielder.
But Celtic play a bloody 7-1-2 or something, man. 9-10. Here, I was right with the form. I was right, but
Right, what?
7-1-2, 10 players, 11 in goals.
I mean, that's not hard. That's not a hard thing to think about.
This has been a hard podcast, man.
It's been a tough one back. I don't think I'll be back
No,
for a week.
about the Stirling Albion Aberdeen game. It wasn't great for Aberdeen
There was
again.
fuck all in it, mate. There was fuck all in it.
All right, but Clarkson was
Relax yourself.
Clarkson's goal was great, but do you know who I'm not being that impressed with? It's set for the Celtic game. Duke's not been great against Celtic. I thought he was decent.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what? I will give you this tip, right? See, for you boys and for anyone else that plays fantasy football, get onto Dante Polvara. Dante Polvara is available for 4.8 million and will play almost every
Where are
game
you in
for
the league?
Aberdeen this season. Second.
Oh, I don't know. I honestly,
I'm second to Aaron Turnbull. Again, shout out the flat chat. Aaron Turnbull is he fucking researches.
He's
man.
got spreadsheets upon spreadsheets upon spreadsheets.
Dante Polvara will get you good points. He probably won't get a lot of goals, mate, but he'll play every week, which is guaranteed numbers. But as soon as Mark O'Hara is declared fit again, get him in your fucking team. Because
Aye.
Mark
I back
O'Hara
that. Me and you, first time, straight away.
I've
points.
no seen the thingy since the first week.
I think you're 6 or
that
something.
week there never had anything to do with it because it was cup game. So pick your team fresh for this weekend, and then you'll
Alright then. I think I've still got Sam Lammers in my team. So
get him out. Get him out, Sean.
Get him out.
Get him
Sam.
out. So that's all the games. What was your highlight of the week?
45 minutes under my belt, new team.
New team.
Oh,
Aye.
aye.
How did you go?
Congratulations.
It was good. Good to get back in the pitch, but
The best signing in Scottish football so far.
I've not even signed yet.
I wonder if we can
Oh.
insert your turn in the middle of the park. I don't know if we can do that. Producer corner. Can we stick that in, aye? Can
Aye,
we
we
allow to
can.
put that? Well, aye,
We
yeah,
can.
excellent. We're
Lucky Jed.
And I can see the comments already. I've seen milk done quicker than that. Oh,
I'll get
that was the one word we can't say.
I'll get an 8-6 and I'll tell you for why.
I'll tell you for what.
Right? And I don't know if it's you or the team you're playing with. Somebody's got to show for that ball, so you've got to release it faster. It was my
So
only thing.
my dilemma is, right, so what you don't see in the camera is the boy to the left is about 3 yards for the boy, and I'm thinking, right, I've turned him. Is he going to go so that I can just play it through
Aye.
the gap? No, he's standing there. Fair play. So I'm like, okay, I know the boy's coming to my shoulder, and I'm just waiting. Just released it. But there's a funny wee story that actually happened when I came home with that team, which they actually live streamed it. But I don't think it was actually captured on it. I'll tell you after, because there's a wee story about it.
Oh, right.
Alright, okay. So obviously, like we said at the start of the show, we've got a new segment where you can write in and ask us questions. You can comment,
Tell us stories.
mad stuff, tell us a story. If you want advice from Ben, don't ask him for any clothing advice. Horrendous. If you want any relationship advice, ask Big Chonest.
I'll give terrible advice, but I will give advice.
Aye.
But email,
See,
Insta DMs.
Email, Insta DMs.
email, Insta DMs, TikTok.
Do you know what?
messages on-
the
Messages
street.
privately.
In the street. I get it. Our own
Aye,
personal.
aye,
But
follow the
Please
personal
keep
Insta.
it PG.
See,
No,
don't
don't
honestly
keep it PG. Don't keep it PG because at this point, I don't give a fuck. The censorship barriers are off. Send in whatever you want. Just
Wow.
don't send any scuddies to the wireless page.
Aye, personals. Absolutely. See, don't honestly, gram it.
So, see, based off that story earlier, have you got any funny dressing room stories to give the viewers some inspiration?
Dressing room stories.
Dressing rooms.
No, but you've got a couple of fines that are a bit.
I've got a belter.
No, do you know what?
I've got a
We
belter.
will say it. Hold on. So, 1st of July, we lifted that trophy. There was rules set in the changing room. Only I was allowed my phone. Fair, that rule set. If you had a semi in the showers, That's also a fine.
That was not a fine.
That was a fine.
I said that was a fine.
That was a fine. If you walked in with a semi
Why
in
are
the
you pointing
showers,
at me? I never had a semi.
you set them. What?
How do you know they had a semi?
I never set the rules.
You set them.
How do you know somebody had a semi?
No, he said if you had a semi in the showers, it's a fine.
No, I didn't.
You did.
On the
No, I
on the
didn't.
semis.
We'll need to cut this. You can't say that. You
Aye, you
can't
can.
say that. No, you can't.
But a story for the first of
Right,
changing
okay.
room. Shout out Jasper, right?
Oh,
Now,
the mangina.
no. Yeah, that is part of the story. And he'll know, right? He'll know. You will know this. But the best thing, and I don't think he realised, is so Jasper's came in late. He was a late substitution. Brilliant guy, right?
That
Fucking
is
great guy.
facts.
But he's walking about absolutely bollock, right?
Aye. Fucking
And
hung
Jamie's
like a
lovely
horse, by
mother
the way.
here walks into the changing room, and I'm looking, and I'm like,
Don't turn that around, you'll get poked in the
"Aye,
eye.
please don't turn around." And now Jasper's a guy who likes to get out there. I don't need to say any much more.
What do you mean?
What do you mean by
He
that?
likes to be out there.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? Jasper likes to be out there.
I'm convinced
And-
we're going to need to cut whatever this
Aye.
No, in terms of your
He was
Johnson.
he was walking around
Aye,
bollock
he's
naked.
walking
Aye,
out-
that's
aye.
fine. Aye.
So I'm
Oh,
thinking,
okay.
I'm thinking to Jamie's lovely mother, please do not
Turn around.
turn around or view that, because that could definitely hamper Jasper's performance, which it didn't.
It didn't. But also, in the meantime, the guy literally shoved his 14-inch javelin pole between his legs and ran about naked.
This
Aye.
is ridiculous. Some of the pattern on here.
Yeah, and I tell you something, that's why we won.
We did.
That is why we won.
That
because
inspired us.
we called him tripod
Aye, 3 legs.
for the full. That is actually him who's holding the cameras up right now, filming this. Look, Jasper, hello.
I've got quite a funny story.
Right, go
I
for
don't
it.
know if I can say the boy's name.
Aye,
on-
can we
on
bleep
the
it?
podcast. Alright, okay, I will, because you know who he is, but we definitely need to blur his name when we say it. So we played against. I was playing for the team I play for now. Maybe 3-4 seasons ago. So it was my first seasons playing amateur football, playing with like men and men's dressing rooms and that. So I'm used to like academy stuff where it's all a bit tame and there's always like a coach in the room and that.
Aye.
So first time in like amateur dressing rooms, fucking
It's quite scary.
proper men, right? They walk about naked. And I had
Intimidating.
never really seen that because see, we were like, probably one of the first generations, but you never really get naked when you were getting changed and all.
Aye, it was always. Aye,
Aye.
I
get
remember
you,
seeing it in the gym. Sorry, when I was
It's weird, man.
I was at 15, right?
Aye,
and
it's like the old 60-year-old guys
I
walking
seen
about
it
with their pencils.
Tollcross gym, right, before I get done up, right, so it was an absolute bear pit, right, but there was these two guys, right, combined age, I don't know, 135, right, I'm no joking, I've seen more sags in a curry, if you know, we sagaloo.
That's
Yeah,
wow,
you know.
that's wild. But
I'm
anyway,
here all
so
week.
we're in this. We're in the dressing room. It's one of my first. In fact, because Cal Glasgow was there, because it was Cal Glasgow we done it to. So it maybe I'm maybe about 4 months into amateur football, right? So I'm still not fully adjusted. I found it quite a difficult adjustment over the first few months. I wasn't used to like the. Anyway, that's by the by.
the cock and balls in that.
The cock and balls, aye. So we're in the changing room, right? And it must have been because I joined when it was like February, so it must have been pre-season because I was 4 months in and Cal. So about just about July time, right? So one of the coaches brings ice, right? So there's just ice all over the dressing room and all the ice buckets. So end of the game, we've come out, everybody's roasting, sweating, we've won, everyone's buzzing, the tunes are on, blah blah blah, we're bouncing about. So
Oh.
so he's jumped in for a shower, man, and came out. He's went for a freezing cold shower. And he's like, nah, I'm not happy with this. I'm still fucking roasting. Big bag of ice, man. Right, just big handful of ice. Rubs his balls and sticks it all up his arse and all that, man. Just shoveling ice up his arse. Then turn round. He's like, to Cal Glasgow, you heard that? Fucking Cal's like that. No, mate, I done.
Glasgow also get a cup of pish flowing out of him. That boy, man.
I know. I feel sorry for him. It's an absolute liberty.
Nah, I don't. I don't.
Did you? He voted you worst dressed as well, didn't he?
Oh, look,
Aye. So there's a bit of beef, still beef that needs to be settled.
there's still beef, but like, yeah. I know he voted me because he knows that his dress sense is absolutely stinking.
Do you think?
It's bad. It's nearly as bad as his music.
Do you think there's been any improvements over the last 18 months?
Wait,
for
with him?
For anybody?
Wow.
No.
It's been a lot down.
I feel like Caldwell's not as bad as it used to be.
Aye,
He got
voted
Caldwell's getting
You
it.
know, I wouldn't say he's the worst. I'd say McInnes is the worst.
Ah,
Maybe we don't even see him enough to judge that.
Nah, some of the stuff he wears is quite cool. It's all fake, but it's banging.
No, it's not even the fake. It's wearing like grey joggies, black socks.
That's alright if you're wearing black shoes.
You can't
No.
question Nibdy when you're sitting here with inside out socks on.
Oh, mate, he's viled you.
Yeah. I'm allowed to do that because I don't like the wee hang rubbing against my toes.
But listen, I back that, and
I know
If-
you're talking about the
if you ever want to know why Craig did get his boot, he did help a lovely lady cross the road, and he did damage his foot in the process. So you're a very kind man.
And then I paid for their full family's mortgage as well. Like, I'm that type of guy here where I'll put people in front of me, no
Aye.
pun intended, and I'll help them. That's what I'll do. And that's what we're all about at Wireless, giving.
If you enjoyed watching the podcast, don't forget to leave a like and make sure to subscribe to. Oh my god, I fucked
We
it.
love giving. Don't worry so far.
Well, wait, let me.
Yeah, I've loved genuinely just chatting shite, but that was fucking pish.
What was there? I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. We'll cut this bit and I'll
No,
do
we
an
won't.
extra outro.
Personality. This is what this is. Who wants to?
Who wants to see
No, who
a
wants to see
no
you?
censored podcast one
Yeah,
time?
I would quite like to just jump on here and just talk about like conspiracies
No.
and stuff one night.
You read my mind. Telekinesis, brilliant. If you've got any conspiracy theories that you want to hear us talk about, get them in that email and also DMs, and we will sit. There could be sixes here, and
that's true.
we'll sit.
I definitely get in touch with some of your funny stories. We've spoke about some of our funny ones tonight. We'll have
Yep.
a think over the next week before we bring out the next episode and come with some more for you. Hopefully you guys get in touch and leave us with some of them. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Follow us across all our social media channels, which will be broadcast across here. Absolutely delightful. And have a great day, guys. Thank you very much for watching.
See you later. Bye.